If you're like me and you love camping and you love being outdoors, but you absolutely hate it when you're in the cold, especially when you're with your family, whether that's in the snow, rainy weather, well, then I have the perfect tool and accessory for you. And that's from HCALORY. This is their new product, which is the Toolbox 2. And this thing is packed with a ton of features that would really help you with your camping adventures. Or even if you're somebody who has a workshop in your garage and in those really cold months, you need something to kind of heat up your garage while you're out there working, this would be the perfect tool for you. So some of the really cool features that HCALORY has really improved from Toolbox 1 to Toolbox 2 is the fact that this has a 3-minute heat time, which gets up to 135 degrees Celsius. That is crazy hot. It also has a longer run time because it has a larger tank. They've improved and increased the 5-liter tank that's in the Toolbox. And now this has a 6-liter gas tank, which gives you an extra 20% run time. And this thing can run for up to 50 hours. That is ridiculous. And for anybody that's worried about noise at your campground, whether that's disturbing your neighbors or even just having something noisy outside while you're trying to sleep, well, HCALORY has improved their oil pump as well. So it's much, much quieter. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that as well in the video. So before we get to demonstrating the Toolbox 2, what I wanna do is kind of show you guys what comes in the box, kind of show you some of the features. And also, this even has app support, which I think is really, really critical, and something that's really nice about the Toolbox 2 is the fact that if you're camping, you can be in your tent. So whether you're in a rooftop tent or if you have this on the floor outside your floor tent, you don't need to get out into the elements, you don't need to get out into the cold and change any settings. You can do all of that in the app, and I'm gonna show you guys that as well. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and kind of show you guys what you get out of the box. Here's your exhaust pipe, your exhaust silencer. So this is what is gonna help keep everything quiet. You're gonna get your intake pipe. Here's your air outlet pipe. Now, one thing about this is it is flexible, but as you can see, it's not really expandable. And so I have a suggestion for you guys on what to buy to replace this. If you want something that's gonna give you a longer run, especially if you have like a rooftop tent, obviously if you have this down low, this isn't gonna run to your tent. So I'm gonna show you a substitute for this. But if you have a floor tent, and you're gonna have this pretty close to your tent, I think this would be just fine. Obviously, this is the vent for that pipe. This would be what would be inside your tent. You get an AC to DC power adapter, so that's really nice. You could just plug this in, whether you have some type of battery generator, you could plug this in. Someone like me who has the Hummer, or if you have a Cybertruck, I know a lot of my viewers are electric vehicle owners, you could just plug this into your Cybertruck. You could just plug this into your Hummer and your Rivian, and you can power it from your truck, which makes it really nice. For anybody that has a battery power bank, you can use this wiring harness to go ahead and hook that up to your batteries and power up the HCALORY Toolbox 2. And then obviously it comes with all the clamps and screws and different things that you need to kind of get everything set up. Another thing that the HCALORY Toolbox 2 comes with is a remote control. So if you don't want to use the app, or if you don't want to be fumbling with your phone in the middle of the night to change the temperature or to turn it on or off, they do give you a remote control, which is really, really nice. I really appreciate that. And then as you can see, this all opens up and you're able to get to the guts of everything. So if there's any type of repairs or anything that you need to kind of tinker with, you can do so very easily. This is the 6-liter gas tank that I told you about. Once again, this is 20% larger than the Toolbox 1, and that's gonna give you some extra runtime. All right, so let's kind of get everything set up and installed onto the Toolbox 2 so you guys can see that process. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is get the outlet pipe and the vent, and we're gonna go ahead and attach them, but we need to get clamps for this. So let's go ahead and open up the bag with all the clamps, and we're just gonna go ahead and put it on there like so. And then we're just gonna go ahead and tighten this up very easily. I'm sure most of you guys know how to do this, but as you can see, we're just gonna use a Phillips screwdriver to tighten this up. Just like that. It's tightened on there. As you can see, I'm tugging on it, it doesn't come off. Now we're gonna do the same right here. We're just gonna put this clamp on here. So just like that, now you have your outlet pipe installed with the vent, and this is where all of the hot air is going to be pushed through and put into your tent. Or like I said, if you're in your garage, this is where all the hot air is going to come out. So if you're at a workstation and you want the heat coming at you, this is what you're going to position towards you. Okay, so now we're gonna get the exhaust pipe and the exhaust silencer. We're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna put these on, clamp them in, and attach it down here as well. One thing to note is you want to position, if you notice here, there's a little hole, and however you attach this, you want that hole facing down while you're operating the HCALORY Toolbox 2. And the reason for that is if there's any condensation, any buildup in here in the silencer, that's where it's draining out of. Okay, so now that we have the air duct and the exhaust pipes installed, now what we need to do is install the intake pipe. And with this one, the cool part is this is gonna screw in really nice, but we're still gonna put a clamp on here. Okay, so now that we have everything installed, now what I wanna do is turn it on and kind of go through some of the menus and kind of show you guys some of the features. Okay, so now that we're plugged in, what you need to do is press and hold the power button for a few seconds to turn on the unit. As you can see, it immediately turns on. You could see that those blue lines are indicating that air is coming in. The red is indicating hot air will be coming out. You can see that it's showing air is coming in and there's cold air in the Toolbox 2, and now it's producing hot air and pushing it out. And you can also see that we have the setting at H4. So as you can see here, if we press the up and down arrows, it's going to increase the fan speed. So let's go all the way up. One thing I want to show you guys as well is the decibel level, just to show you guys how loud this is. As you can see, when I'm not talking, it's about 68 decibels. And that's with my phone measuring the decibel level right up against the machine. So something else I want to show you is that you can have it on the fan speed, which is what we had, that was showing the H and then giving us a number. And those numbers just meant how high the fan speed was. You could change that setting to have a temperature. Because this has a thermostat, what we can do is, like I have it set right now at 85 degrees. You can see right there it has the A with the arrow going around it. That's just indicating that it's in automatic mode. And I think I turned that off, yeah. So that's in automatic mode, meaning it's gonna automatically get to that temperature. So the way you can change between automatic and manual mode and having it set from temperature to just fan speed is you're just gonna hold down the settings button and then it just changes between the two. So as you can see now it's in fan speed 5 and we can go back to the thermostat and we can put that back into auto mode. So unfortunately I didn't have a camping trip planned and I wanted to get this video out before Black Friday. So what I ended up doing is I just set up a tent out here in my backyard, and as you can see I have the HCALORY Toolbox 2 here. What I want to do is hook it up to my Anchor battery and kind of see how long I can run this, if it'll run overnight with this. I think it will, but we'll find out. So what I ended up doing is buying this longer exhaust pipe, and this is going to allow me to keep the HCALORY Toolbox 2 further away from the tent so I could really reduce the noise. But what it's also going to do is, if you have a rooftop tent, it's going to give you that extra length to go ahead and keep this down on the floor and run that pipe all the way up to your rooftop tent. So that's going to be really, really helpful for rooftop tent people. So let me go ahead and get this plugged in, and then we're going to see how quickly it can heat up this tent. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have a thermometer that I can use, but I do have this thermometer gun. So what we're going to do is just see what the temperature is inside right now. It's at 57 degrees. Now let's go ahead and turn on the HCALORY Toolbox 2. Go ahead and put that pipe in here, zip it all up, and let's see how quickly we can get it to our desired temperature. All right, so let's turn this up to that 75. I think I'm going to take it up to 80. And then we can kind of adjust it from there. I think in the real world, you would probably turn this up to 80, 85. And then once you're ready to go to bed, you can kind of let some of that air, hot air out. So it's starting up. Let's see how long it takes. As you can see, It's 4:53 p.m. We'll see how many minutes it takes to get to that 80 degrees inside the tent. So as you can see, it's been 7 minutes. It's still pumping. Let's check the anchor. It's actually telling us we got 15.7 hours remaining. Okay, now it's fluctuating. So now it's 12.8. So maybe this can run it overnight. Interesting. Since it's been 7 minutes, let's check the temperature of the tent inside. I don't want to release any hot air, but let's go ahead and open this up a little bit. It's at 70, let's go all the way to the back. It's at 70 degrees, 72, 73 degrees. It's already warm in there, and it's been 7 minutes, and you could feel it. Wow, I was not expecting that. Yeah, 72 degrees or so after 7 minutes. It was at 57, I believe. So 15 degrees in 7 minutes. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and zip it back up and we'll come back and test it in a few more minutes. All right, it's been another 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on the HCALORY Toolbox 2. It's still pumping out hot air. Let's check on the anchor. Yeah, 100%. This can power it for the whole night. It's saying 14 hours. And as you can tell, this thing's cranking. Let's check the temperature. I'm sure this thing's gonna be warm and ready. Oh yeah, you feel that heat as soon as you open up the door. So you can see it's up to 90 degrees in here. And once again, you gotta keep in mind, this is on thermostat mode where it's gonna automatically shut off once it gets to 80 degrees, but because the thermostat is in here, it's detecting the temperature that's outside. Here's the cool part. HCALORY gives you a harness where you can remove this, and if the length works for you, you're able to get this and have it inside your tent. So in that case, you're able to have the thermostat inside your tent. It's gonna turn off once it gets to that 80 degrees, which it would already turn off by now. And you have that in your tent in the middle of the night, throughout the night, and it's able to keep your tent at the temperature that you want it to be for the entire duration of your night. So I think that's really, really cool. So if that works for you, they give you that harness, you're able to do that. If not, you can use the app. So let's go ahead and take a look at the app. I still need to connect my phone. So let's go ahead and go through that process. All right, so let me go ahead and go to the app. So all I need to do is download the app, which I already did. Now I just need to go ahead and find the device, which is the HCALORY. And that's it. It's connected. It's telling me what my setting is at. It's also giving me my elevation. It's giving me a lot of different information. Super easy to connect. And now when I'm inside the tent, I'm able to control the whole unit using my phone. So super simple, super easy, very basic. Some quick things I want to talk about as well is the high plateau or high altitude mode, which you can turn on and off from the app. And what that means is it's basically going to adjust the combustion based off of the altitude up to 18,000 feet. So that's really going to help when you're in the higher altitudes, when you're in the mountains and whatnot. So that's a really cool feature that you could turn on and off. I don't need it on right now, obviously. Another thing that you can do in the app is you can set timers. So you can leave this thing on and you can come in here and just put a start timer. So we can sit there and say, you know what, at 7:30, we want this thing to turn on and we want it to turn off at, let's just say 7 a.m. That's something you could do very easily right here in the app. So that's really nice that you have timer settings. So you can just put the temperature in if you want, if that's something that works best for you, or you can just use these different fan speeds and heat levels. And you can go all the way up to 10, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And so that's just two different ways you can operate the machine, which I can appreciate just because everybody has different preferences. Also, changing from gear mode and temperature mode is very easy, as you can see. And when you're in temperature mode, you can put it on automatic start stop. which is really nice. So just having this app and having the ability to control everything from the app, I think is just a game changer and something that really sets it apart and, you know, just helps complete the whole experience when working the HCALORY Toolbox 2. I have to tell you guys, I'm very, very pleased with the HCALORY Toolbox 2. It heats it up very, very quick. It's compact size, very durable with the outer casing. The only complaint that I would give is just the fact that the outlet pipe is really short, the one that it comes with. So easy fix, you just buy a new one, which I did, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link not only for the HCALORY Toolbox 2 down below, but also for that pipe if you wanna get one for yourself. If you're planning on having this close to your tent, or if you're only gonna use it in your garage when you're working in the garage or anywhere else, the biggest thing is you just wanna be able to be in a well-ventilated area. I think this unit is very, very good. I highly, highly recommend it, especially for people that are gonna be camping in the snow, camping in cold weather. This really makes all 4-season camping much, much easier and much more comfortable, and very, very impressed with it. So first of all, I want to thank HCALORY for sending me the unit, because I'm going to really put this thing to use, and I'm very excited to now go out camping, because it is the winter time. Typically this is when I wouldn't camp, but now with this I can. So thank you guys for watching, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.